Hello and welcome to the 7 pro tips to cybersecurity. No, my name is Daniel and I work as a teacher and I also do guidance for companies on how to stay safe. I teach people directly from companies on how to work with cybersecurity, information security, how to develop your own company to a more secure working area, whatever they call it. And today I'm going to give you the 7 pro tips that I usually, have in my own security Bible. And it might come as a shock to you that it's not anything crazy advanced, but people tend to misunderstand the whole point of these kind of tips. So I'm going to try and explain to you very slowly and with some examples and so on. So the background on this is with the war in Ukraine, Russia, and the rise in tension in other countries, the amount of cyber attacks is actually going up. That's very common, and at the moment, we also see that in my own country. We see that our cyber level just raised from a low to a medium on the destructive cyber attacks level, and it's kind of difficult for me to say exactly what's going on because I don't really know it. But the things all companies should do is to try and work with security in a certain way. And if you're a company, you have systems, computers, employees, and so on, definitely this video is for you. And I'm gonna try and make it as swift as possible, take it through so you understand what's going on without using any big words. So the first one is to gather yourself an overview of the important data in the system. I'm going to bring up a notepad here so I can remember the time where I say stuff. So pay attention to the overline. I'm going to put the different kind of tips as a headline, overline, what I'm going to call it, to the video so you can just, see what I'm talking about in different sections of the video. So the first one is to gather yourself a overview of your actual company data and your system. So the important part about that is you gotta know where your servers are, right? You gotta know where the backup is. You gotta know how your system is constructed, and think about stuff like segmentation of your network. If you're having a guest network, please make sure that it's not connected to your normal network, that is kind of separated in the way on a different subnet so you cannot reach it directly. Definitely should be through a router of some sort, also with some sort of firewall, maybe some intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, because a guest network cannot be trusted. That is why it's called guest. Guest basically means hacker, so that is the way you should definitely go and treat that. So also gathering yourself the overview of your data is very important because you gotta know where your data is. If you don't know where your data is it locally stored? You're having some hard drive here and there. How many of them is connected to the internet? That is a big thing to know. Also, if you're using some cloud stuff, many people are using Azure, Amazon, so on. Nothing against it, but it's just another way of use to say I trust in their security. So you have to trust cautiously their security level, which is also a design pattern you can go ahead and use. The second one is called update your programs. And probably guessed it, but many people, they just don't do it. They might have been educated enough to update the Windows, and that's also a thing, great for you. But what about your other programs like your Word and your other stuff that also can access the internet? Some of them might even interact with stuff you have on SharePoint or other online shared documents. And if something or someone can interact with those documents and maybe implement some sort of code in them, like let's say some macro code, well then they can execute code directly on your machine. which basically enable them to make your computer react to that. So apart from that, also keep your programs up to date just in general, because if you're infected and that infection or virus, whatever it is, can further escalate itself by using a security hole in that program, which is something the hackers do actually utilize. So please remember to update your programs. Now, the third advice would be to go ahead and buy yourself some sort of antivirus and firewall. And you probably heard it before, but these are the things that many people, they say, oh, we heard it so many times, but if we didn't do it, we saved the money, we didn't do it. And it's like, oh, why? Please just buy the basic stuff, get it. Get the firewalls, get the antivirus, and when I say the firewalls, I also mean the intrusion detection, intrusion prevention. I mean the web application firewall. I do mean the proxy server. I mean using VPN to connect from home computers. And this the whole idea of having home workstation is like another security issue itself, which I'm not going to cover in this video. The fourth one is going to take backup. So you probably have a lot of data. I see one company one day thriving, earning money, next day big cyber attack, they are forced to close down because all the data is just demolished, or they lose everything they have in some way, and they almost cannot offer their customers a direct backup of whatever they have, because things are destroyed that fast. You also lose yourself, your reputation, if you don't have your backup. It's never a good thing to be hacked, and you will always lose reputation to your customers, even the loyal ones, because they're gonna think, oh, you don't know how to, if you don't have secure backup, everything else is just worse. So please remember to have secure backup. The fifth one is a very important one, is where you gotta educate your employees in spotting, suspicious emails. And you're gonna stress this enough. People click on weird stuff. They just, I want to click on that, like, and just don't do it, right? I've seen people clicking on stuff. It doesn't matter who it is. If it's the IT boss, the director, the CEO, the CISO, the DPO. No, everyone click on weird stuff. So don't think it's a secretary just first of all because they don't have an IT education. No, everyone click on weird stuff. So very important to be aware of weird emails. Now, the sixth one is probably something you're gonna say, but we all know that. Create, strong passwords. Oh, I see so many bad passwords still every day, everywhere, and I just cannot stress it enough that people don't take it seriously enough. They just create their own weird passwords thinking, isn't Thomas123 exclamation mark a good password? I heard like a capitalized letter and small letters and an exclamation mark at the end is a good password. No, it's not. You can have great passwords that are only like 12 characters long. That's probably a bit hard to crack. But at the end of the day, a good word list, is a better tool to try and brute force yourself through, or password spraying attacks, different kind of things. Not getting into the difficult technicalities now of attacks, but just to mention the two. So please create some strong passwords, and please remember, a strong password is not 8 or 12 characters long. It is more than that. It's 20, 25, even go up into the 30 area. That is definitely the way to go. Okay, so the last and final tip is, if you are conducting business with other companies, so you have some IT companies that deliver services to you. They deliver your Wi-Fi, they deliver your internet, or they deliver your cloud services, or they handle your business transactions and so on. you have to have some sort of IT security demands for them. So if you have a certain idea of how security should be, they should at least do the same. If they cannot comply to that, they are non-compliant to your security demands, which is where another insecurity arises, because they will not handle your transactions to the level you need to be secure, to upfront tell your customers we are secure. And that is also another thing you see many companies, they break their toes and wrists on, that they do have some sort of, collaborative partners, and their security awareness level are just crap. That is really a bad thing. This is the 7 simple IT security tips that I can give, pro tips. This is what I also teach companies, and they still don't do it. I don't know why. And this is just, if you do that, you're pretty close to having a okay level of security, but that is just the overall headlines with a small explanation. This video is about 12 minutes long. You're not a pro after this 12 minutes, but you can go ahead and search it up and learn more, all right? So I really hope that I learned you something in this video, and if you did so, please consider, subscribing to my channel. It's going to help me out to grow this channel. Comment, like the video, do whatever you would like to do in the comment below. I'm going to try and get back to you as soon as I can. See you out there.